Hey Internet, Eric here. Got my movie thoughts video for you guys today. And this is what I've called it before, I've done a few of them, a blind review. A review of a film that I've never seen before this review. I mean, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning watcher or returning subscriber, viewer, you normally see me hold up, what I'm reviewing, and if it's part of my collection, if it's part of my fucking collection, you probably know that I'm going to enjoy the film. I mean, why else would I own the thing? This video or this movie that I'm talking about today was a gift from my buddy Roger from Channel Donstar, and it was part of that huge ass unboxing video that was like over an hour long. Feel free to go check it out if you have some spare time. He gave me some really cool shit. Offhand, he's giving me some little figures and shit like that, along with movies and what have you. But go ahead and check that out. Part of that was part of those gifts were a bunch of movies. And I think he knows I'm a Joe Dante fan. I had never seen this film today. I'm going to talk about, I have never seen this film before today, I'm going to talk about Innerspace. And Innerspace has Dennis Quaid and Martin Short, Meg Ryan. This came out in, it says 87 back here. Yeah, directed by Joe Dante. I said if you're new to my channel, welcome. When I do discuss these films, I talk about plot spoilers, specific scenes. That's just how I discuss movies. And Joe Dante has directed many great things. Gremlins, my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Small Soldiers, Matinee, Explorers, so much stuff. So much good stuff. And with Innerspace, I was very excited. Even though I had never seen a Martin Short film. I see him as like he shows up in the background, like Mars Attacks, or he's in The Three Amigos, what have you. Now, plot of Innerspace is, I was going to say Randy Quaid. Ugh. Dennis Quaid is this, he is a, let's see what he is. He's a hotshot Navy pilot, and he's down on his luck. He's, always fighting with his girlfriend, Meg Ryan. He's always drunk, this and that. He's hired for this experiment where he's going to be shrunk down and injected into a rabbit. So, and then he's going to, he's in this, spaceship or whatever. It's not spaceship, but you know what I mean. And he's going to go through the body of a rabbit so they can do research. And shit happens from like a rival company or something like that. They want to be able to do this experiment. And as Dennis Quaid is still in the syringe to be injected into the rabbit, people are killed, and the doctor in charge, or the scientist in charge, what have you, of this experiment is on the run, being chased by Vernon Wells, who is Bennett from Commando, with robotic hand. And as he's being chased, he's shot, and right before he dies, he takes a needle, sticks it in the butt of Martin Short, a hypochondriac who has a shitty job working in a grocery store. And the rest of the film is Dennis Quaid and Martin Short working together to try to get Dennis Quaid out of his body and then stop the bad guys, all along with the help of Meg Ryan. That's it in a nutshell. This movie was fucking fun. First off, Dennis Quaid is Dennis Quaid. He's cool, he's calm, he's suave, he's someone you want to be. I always say, Dennis Quaid and his brother Randy Quaid are like twins. The Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito movie. All the talent and good looks went into Dennis, all the leftover crap went into Randy, and it shows. Dennis is, once again, I love Dennis Quaid and everything I've seen him in. He has a presence, he has a likability factor to him, and he's got that here. You sympathize with him the first time you see him, because it starts at this big banquet, and this this military man is giving this big speech about how the how these soldiers are great people and they do all this and that, and then in comes Dennis Quaid all drunk, being the opposite of what the speech is. So you kind of see how his character is, and you might sympathize with him. But he's fantastic. Martin Short, who, like I said, I've never really seen a lot of him here. He's in a leading role here. He's very likable. He's got a good, funny charisma about him. He works well with every single person he's on screen with, whether it be Meg Ryan, whether it be anybody. Kevin McCarthy is one of the main villains. Kevin McCarthy from the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers movie, and the Twilight Zone movie, and UHF, among other fucking things. He's got a great chemistry with him. He's got a great fucking chemistry with Dennis Quaid, and what's weird is I say they have a great chemistry. They're not on screen with each other until like the last 10, 15 minutes of the movie. That shows how they work, because it's Dennis swimming around in his body, talking to him, and then Martin responding, and just the way Joe Dante like edits it together, it's perfect. Meg Ryan's okay. She's there to look cute. I mean, it was before, I always thought she was cute. It was before I finally saw her without her shirt on, and that ruined it. Like fried eggs on a nail. But here she's cute. She's likable. She has a good chemistry with Martin Short. She loves Dennis Quaid. You want them to get together, because they're always on again, off again stuff. Kevin McCarthy is a good villain. With it being a Joe, he's Kevin McCarthy. There's no way to explain Kevin McCarthy. He's just great. With it being a Joe Dante film, we have Robert Picardo showing up as the cowboy, someone who works for Kevin McCarthy, who he's trying to get a microchip that is a side story. Trying to get a microchip that Dennis Quaid has, which helps with the experiment. It's the easiest way to say it. Vernon Wells is very robotic, hence the hand, the robot hand. He's probably I think he's trying to channel his inner Terminator here. He's intimidating. I like him a lot. With it being a Joe Dante film, like I said, we got Henry Gibson from The Burbs showing up as this kind of feeble but annoying grocery store manager. Liked him. Wendy Shaw, I believe that is her name, also from The Burbs, is like the store whore. She's likable. That's what I love about Joe Dante. He's kind of like Tarantino and Kevin Smith, how he's always got the same revolving, actors and actresses in his film, because he likes them and they work well with each other. So the acting is great. Special effects are really good. The miniatures and everything that they do. I mean, seeing Dennis Quaid go through like the body of Martin Short, seeing him like when he's behind the eyeball and the blood vessels and this and that, really cool. I really, really enjoyed it. The special effects are really good. The songs are fun. They're fun pop songs. Like there's a Rod Stewart song. There's a bunch of fun 80s tunes in this. One of my favorite scenes to an 80s tune, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's when something good happens. Either something good happens or something bad happens, and Dennis Quaid wants to get drunk, okay? Either to celebrate or drink his pain away, I don't remember. But he can't drink unless Martin Short gets drunk. So Martin is at Dennis's apartment, and he gets like a bottle of scotch or whiskey or something like that. And what he does is he opens the bottle, and he guzzles it. And it's funny because Dennis is in his little pod or whatever. The window opens and he sticks out like this little contraption that's holding a flask at the end. So as you see all this booze pour down the throat of Martin Short, a lot of it goes in the flask. And then they get drunk together. You got Martin Sheen dancing around. I think it's to like, no, I was going to say Twisted the Night Away. That's the Rod Stewart song at the end. But he's dancing around and being fun and funny as, Dennis is drinking. And like I said, it's a good buddy film where the buddies aren't on screen together until the end. And that's a cool concept. There's there's a good action sequence here. Martin Short eventually gets kidnapped. He's in the back of like a freezer truck, and Kevin McCarthy's like, give him the, what the deal is. And of course, Meg Ryan's driving to save him, and because she finds, he tells her the whole story eventually. And Martin eventually proves it because he says something that only Dennis Quaid would know, type of deal. And she's, you got the truck driving, this, and then you got Meg Ryan. Let's see, you got Meg Ryan driving her car. They're next to each other, and Martin Short opens up the freezer door, and you got, I can fucking do this. Thanks for the figures, Roger. You're helping with my visual aid. You got Martin Short standing up with one leg on the frozen truck and another leg on the Meg Ryan's car, and it's a really cool, neat, fun action sequence. And I guess Martin Short did that stunt himself, and that's really cool. But it's a very intense scene. It's a comedy, but it's still, that intense moment is great. And it does have this little trope, like in a lot of these films where, Martin's the easily picked on, and, Dennis Quaid trying to make him a man, proud of yourself, take those steps type of deal. And you always got the whole trope of where they lose contact and Dennis can't tell him what to do, so Martin does it himself, thinking that Dennis Quaid is going to be there to tell him what to do, but he gets the guts to do it himself. So that's cool, even though it's a trope. There's some weird special effects. I praise the special effects where Dennis Quaid was inside Martin Short, but there's this weird special effect where Martin Short and Meg Ryan knock out the cowboy, Robert Picardo, so they can go undercover and try to find out the plans of Kevin McCarthy. And for some reason, Dennis Quaid has something built into his, his little pod where he can electrocute Martin Short enough to help change his facial features, which you wonder why he would have that if he's going inside a rabbit. But he literally changes his face into Robert Picardo in this weird special effect where Martin's shaking his head and the film is sped up and there's compressed air going into his mouth, and it's really fucking weird and out there. Especially, that's weird saying it for a film like this. It's just really weird out there. But it's a what the fuck moment, but you're going with it. And then it happens again because Kevin McCarthy kind of figures out what's going on, and he says, oh, well, the cowboy had a high tolerance for pain. To prove who you are, he's going to stab him in the hand with a fork. And that causes Martin Short to get all freaked out, and he turns back into Martin Short, and, the whole special effect was cool, happening again. I love the scene where eventually Vernon Wells gets shrunk down, and he goes inside Martin Short, and he's outside the pod, and they got a fight, and then, I won't say, Vernon Wells is going to be taken care of. I won't spoil how that happens. I thought that was really cool how they did that. Really neat reveal when you find out he is defeated. Love that. Speaking of weird effects, and this one kind of creepy. After the whole cowboy face thing, eventually Kevin McCarthy and the girl who he's working with get shrunk down. Okay, but they're not inside, this pod or whatever. They get shrunk down, and then they're brought back to, they think they're going to be brought back to normal size, but they're not. They're brought back to the size of maybe like a dwarf, and it's just so weird. Just the way the special effects look. This is what I say, 87? This was weird because it's like what Peter Jackson did in Lord of the Rings, but with a 1987 Joe Dante budget. But it's really cool because eventually they get into the back of Martin Short's car and they're fighting Martin Short as he's driving. And just like the way their hands look compared to the rest of their body is just unnerving. and weird and uncomfortable, at least for me. But it was another cool action sequence. So pretty much my only qualm is how this movie ends. And it doesn't ruin the movie at all. Not even one fucking, bit. Everybody's happy. Happy ending, blah, blah, blah. Minor spoilers. Kevin McCarthy and the girl are still alive. Robert Picardo as the cowboy is still alive. They are still going after Dennis Quaid. Martin Short, now comfortable with who he is, decides to go after them to help Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, but then it ends like that. You don't find out what happens. I mean, it ends to a Rod Stewart version of Twisting the Night Away. It's a fun song, but I wanted to see what happened. Does Martin Short save the day? Does he get shot and killed? I wanted to know what happened. So the ending is kind of a letdown, but it doesn't ruin Innerspace one bit. Roger, thank you for sending this to me. I had a lot of fun. My daughter is 5. And she's still at the stage where, like, if it's not My Little Pony or Little Mermaid, she's not going to sit down and fucking watch a film. She liked the concept of this. She liked the special effects of this. She kept saying, Papa, when are we going to finish the movie where the guy goes inside the man? That sounded very disgusting. But no, she actually wanted to watch Innerspace. And I thought that was really cool. So that says something about this. For a 5-year-old who won't sit down unless it's Disney's Frozen, sat down with me and watched a lot of Innerspace. So if that doesn't get, a seal of approval, I don't know what the fuck does. But I will say, I highly recommend Innerspace. If you just want a fun time, a fun 80s movie, check this out. If you've watched my videos before, you know what I think. You know my type of movies. And I had a blast watching this. 80s cheese, great special effects, great chemistry with all the actors. Fun time. I had a fun time with Innerspace. So that's it. Yeah, thank you. If you liked what you've seen, check my previous stuff. I've got some drunken rants. I've got other movie reviews. I've got some cartoon commentaries. Just check out my playlist because I don't have time to go through all this spiel every fucking time I have this video or I make a video like this. So like, subscribe, share, click that little bell where it says subscribe if you're using a cell phone. Don't like what you see. Tell someone you hate so maybe they can suffer. Cheers, and let's twist the night away.